Board of Commissioners. It is Tuesday, July, no, it's not July 29th, Tuesday, August 5th. It's 2 p.m. If y'all will know, I'm looking at what's written here. Oh, you know what it is? I'm looking at last year. If y'all will stand with me, Commissioner Pelletier will do the invocation. Commissioner Burke, would you lead us in the pledge today, please?
Lord, we thank you for allowing us to come together today for the good of our city and our citizens. We ask that you guide us to be responsible stewards on our resources and make prudent decisions that ensure the prosperity of our city, beloved city of Callaway. We pray for the safety of our citizens, our first responders, and our employees. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please do a roll call.
Commissioner Davis. Here. Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier.
Here.
Commissioner Ayers.
Amen.
Mayor Henderson.
Here. Don't think I see any new faces in the crowd. I think there are a few citizens that are here know how the public participation works. So we'll do that basically at the end of the meeting. So we'll go on to our agenda item, which is the draft budget for fiscal year 26. So gentlemen, I think we got to page 2.
Yeah.
All the way to page 2. So we need to pick up.
Mayor, I'd like to go back to these services that we went through.
Okay, let me just get to my page.
Can I say something?
You certainly may.
I want to address something about this budget process that I think is important. I've been involved in lots of budgets in a lot of places. And I want to know that the budget that you have in front of you contains things that staff need, things that we need on what it's going to take to successfully run a city. It's not perfect. That's why we have workshops. Workshops are here to get input from you. We will make whatever decisions y'all make. We make it in the budget. This is not a final draft. This meeting should not be hostile. This meeting should be a combination of us presenting to you what we think, and if we need more budget workshops, we'll just have more till we come up with the direction that it needs to go. It also, this budget talks about where we want to go in the future. And so these meetings, this is a workshop. This is just for us to all discuss. It's not supposed to be a situation where, I mean, if you tell me you want a line item cut by $500, I'm going to tell you right now, we'll cut it by $500. It's a $53 million budget. It's not going to kill it. I mean, we are here, we take and we run projections. We don't do the wishes. I thought we got rid of all this back when I first got here, and this budget process was just a horrid situation where they lasted 6 and 10 hours and you do 7 or 8 in a row. I mean, we give you all the historical information so that you can see where we're at and look at what our projections are going to be. These are not projections that we come up with a pen and go, I think. David writes a formula. We put in what we think the increase in costs are going to be. It actually comes through, doesn't give us 2 numbers, and we pick the lesser of the 2. Isn't that what we use? Yeah.
Can do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Some line items.
Yeah, on the normal things. I mean, a lot of the budget stuff writes itself. You can't say it. We go back and we fine tune it, but this is the direction of the city. Y'all set the direction, and we just try to follow your direction so that we can go in the direction. Y'all are elected by the people. It's up to you. We have our wish list and things that we need to do that we think can make us run more efficient. Things that we need to either upgrade or make better, or just, when it comes to equipment, it's equipment. It's going to wear out, and we try to wear it out. We have. We're going to talk about a truck we're going to surplus that's a 98 model. It's wore out. It's over my old truck that I got rid of. And that's saying a lot that a city was able to keep one, especially when you have multiple drivers on equipment. They just don't get taken care of the same. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands what we're doing here. We're here as an extension of you, elected by the people, and we are gonna take this budget wherever you want it to go. That's why we do these workshops. If you don't agree with something that staff has come up with, that's fine. We can go different directions. That's why we have workshops. It's not a commission meeting where we have to make a decision. We're having a workshop. We don't get done, we'll have another one. We don't get done with that, we'll have another one. And we'll keep going until we get a budget that y'all are happy with. That's the goal. It's a cooperation. That's all it is. It's us. If we missed the direction in this budget that you wanted it to go, we'll redirect. But that's all this is a cooperation between the city staff and the elected officials so that we all get on the same page and all go in the same direction. Sorry, Mayor, you go ahead.
Okay, Commissioner, you want to go back to visual services?
Yeah, I just had some questions I'd asked for, the backup information on the vehicle. The vehicle in diesel services is a diesel with 40,000 miles. A diesel should last for 200,000 to 300,000 miles. I know it's an old truck, but what's wrong with it?
There's very little wrong with that truck. It's
Well, I
a
know.
great truck.
So why are we replacing it?
And it was really probably a mistake on my part to leave that note in there. Because we need another vehicle is what we need. That truck is 19 years old, but we have no intention of getting rid of that truck. It's a very heavy duty truck. We use it when we have to haul cement or mulch or sod and those things, but it's not ideal for, just the typical lawn maintenance stuff that we want.
Budget says replace. And now
It
you're
should.
saying you need a new one.
Actually, when I thought about it, I thought it was just adding a new one because of the increase in personnel and the amount of time we have to move people around. But I didn't catch that. Unfortunately, Tim wasn't able to be here last week. So just take out the word replace. This will be in addition to the fleet.
Yeah, and we really need another vehicle to be more efficient with moving people around, splitting up the grounds crew. Because as soon as we get past the 2 or 3 man crew, we're losing efficiency. And there's been a lot of times in the last year that I've had to, put my usual work truck out to the crew, driving the car because we just don't have enough vehicles for transportation.
Any other questions?
Second issue that I wanted to go back with Commissioners is, I like the idea of reducing ad valorem tax. We've always given to the employees. I think this year I'd like to see if we can give to the citizen and reduce the ad valorem to 270. I don't know if anybody else up here agrees, but I agree with him.
$57,245 is what.
That's what I'm saying.
Would reduce the revenue.
Yeah. You're talking $7,000.
No, $57,245.
That's all the difference that we make.
That's all.
That's all the difference it makes. If you divide that by the number of solid waste accounts, because that's pretty much the households in the
Right.
city, it comes to about $8 per household.
Yeah, that's pretty insignificant.
But it is, but it's the idea behind it. That their taxes went down, be it $5 or $8
And we
or
could
$10.
We could reduce the rates to 25 cents and it would offset.
Reduce. I'm confused, reduce.
So 50 cents would go to 2 bits instead. 25 it offsets it. Back in the day, you could get a beer for a quarter.
What am I missing? What's 25 cents, 50 cents, what's on it?
The raise,
If we cut the 50-cent raise to 25 cents, it would make up to $57,000 if we cut.
Oh. Well,
Why?
I'm the reverse side. Now, I don't have a problem with reducing the millage because that's not where most of my income is coming from anyway.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with that. And psychologically, if you think that's a good idea, but also very honestly, we talked about it multiple times, or the comment was made multiple times at the last meeting. It's important that the employees have a skin in the game. You know, that comment's made multiple times. Well, I think it's also important that the city has skin in the game.
Citizens.
Because, well, not only with the citizens, but with the employees. Now, we're saying we're not gonna, you know, we were talking about, well, we've cut their portion of the health care. So if you're single, basically, you don't have the charge, except remember how we phrased this. We did cut that, but we also went, instead of an 80-20, we went to a 70-30. So very honestly, we're gonna give you this, but then we're gonna take away that. So, you know, where's the balance? Now, if they're not sick, it's definitely a plus. But when they get sick, they got 70 rather than the 80. So I'm taking the healthcare out of the equation. But I'd really like to go back, we're not talking about 25 cents or 50 cents, I'd like to go back to the 75 cents. Because according to the chart, it's costing $49,000. Well, wait a minute, $49,000 is a little bit of skin in the game for the city, recognizing that all our employees are actually making this city what it actually is. Not us sitting up here. Down there, some of the supervision, management and all that, but they're basically the employees, the 70-something employees. So I would like the city to be recognized as recognizing them and put a little skin in the game. It's only going to be $49,000. So, and if we want to reduce the ad valorem, like I say, the ad valorem is really not where the money is coming from. Thanks to what's been going on, what the city manager's been doing, and all the grants we've been getting, that's where the money's coming from. We don't have enough ad valorem to even pay the fire department, much less the sheriff's department, anything else. So, but psychologically, when it goes over the airwaves, we actually reduce. But I also want to be psychologically to our employees that we're actually putting a little skin back in the game. And it's, so I'm recommending that we go to the 75 cents. Now, as far as the evaluation of employees, I don't know how many people recognize this, but within each one of our grades, areas, there's a step. You know, it has a range in there. And within that range, the supervision, the management, whatever, not the commission, but supervision can say, you're a little bit better, I'm gonna put you up in that range. And the problem we've had in the past is that we haven't adjusted those ranges. So we've kind of taken care of that a little bit right now. But we still going to have some employees that even when we give them the 75 cents an hour, it's going to put them up almost at the top or possibly over their range. So those are some of the things we're going to have to deal with. But to me, those are very positive things to deal with. It's recognition that this city, and if you want to look at our parks and et cetera, and everything that we did after the hurricane, I'm just, I have a difficult time saying only the employees should have skin in the game. We should have skin in the game in reference to the employees. And I guess that's the end of my speech.
I agree completely. Now, are you talking the 75 cent or the 3% or just 75 cents?
75 cents period, which make it clean. It's all based on 2,080 hours. Now, if somebody would like to say we'd like to give the city manager a 3% raise, or, that kind of thing.
Or the city clerk?
or the city clerk, all of them. But basically what this does is, everybody with $25 or less is actually getting basically a 3% raise. But everybody above $25, which are only about 7 or 8 people in the whole city that are above that 25. So that's I just hold it with 25. Forget this 1% that we were talking about. We'll give 50 cents plus 1%. Any of that is within those ranges, within each category. And very honestly, if an employee wants more, instead of being let's say operator 1 or 2, get the skill to be the operator 2 or 3. Now, sometimes maybe government and maybe even services don't think this way, but I think of it in industry. I'd rather have people that are skilled, that have the flexibility to put in any job, flexibility to drive a 1-ton vehicle or drive a 4,500 vehicle. Have those skills, and if we have those skills, we pay a little bit for it, but not that much. Not as much as the efficiency that we gain by being able to use those people in multiple positions. That's another story. So I'm just recommending we go back to the 75 just across the board.
I'm in agreement with you. And one thing that I thought about after last week's workshop, there was one department that was it appeared that they were preferred over other departments. Because the fire department, they got their $2 and they got their shift change and everything. And I know you made a comment about, if you have a heart attack, you want to be there. And granted, they are important, they could be life-saving.
Thank you.
But I feel like the other departments are just as important in different ways.
I said that.
But I mean, somebody even's made a joke, well, next year we'll just put everything in the fire department because they get everything they want. But I want the other departments to know, I feel like y'all are just as important in keeping this city running, We need the public works to keep our water running and, that's important, and keeping our billing done, and it's all important. It takes all of it to make a city run. So I'm with Commissioner Griggs. I would rather see us go to the 75 cents. I do not have an issue with dropping the ad valorem to the 2.7.
I don't have an issue with it. I mean, there's other things we can trim up. Like Bob, look at that truck issue, and the maintenance record has been very well maintained. I mean, it is old, but I can tell you, diesel lasts a long time.
That's administrative mistake, Commissioner.
Yeah.
It should have been new, so the footnotes on there were wrong.
They're keeping
the truck.
They're not replacing the diesel. They're keeping it, and they want an additional.
30,000 for a new truck.
And that's a different subject since it's new, because there's a bunch of questions I want to ask. I don't know what the ratio is. I don't know what the ratio is in public works. I know that most everybody in public works, everybody has a truck, I think, close to it anyways, if not. But that's a different subject. So, but I'm not done with that truck yet. I'm just going to send an email and ask for additional information. I don't want to tie everybody up today.
But do we want to make a decision about the 75 cents and about the 2.7?
We're going to talk about fairness. So if you're single, you get free health insurance. If you're married, you got to pay a 70-30 split. So where's the fairness in that?
Well, no, of course, 70-30 comes in of your part.
Family. Yeah, family. Yeah.
You're paying to begin with, and even under the married and children and all that business, there is a slight reduction there, but here again, what I was pointing out is if you're sick, you're gonna be paying 70%, not 80%. I mean, we're gonna be paying 70%. They're gonna be paying 30% instead of 20% as they were.
Sick being have to do with it, that the premium is free, Commissioner, I don't follow you.
So the premium is free,
For a single person,
but
single policies.
Now, I'll tell you how I look at it, I mean, it's not like the city's still paying something
Right,
for those plus, family plus one plus. I look at it as that employee chose to have a family, they need to pick up the cost of that family. The city can't pay for everything.
No,
And we're paying for the individual coverage on those people that are married, and have their spouse covered, their family covered, their children covered. We're paying enough that it covers the cost of the individual coverage, correct?
well, I don't buy insurance to make money. I buy insurance
To
to,
be covered.
My house wasn't paid for. I definitely had insurance, and $160,000 later, $60,000 of it being mine after the hurricane. So, but that $100,000 that the insurance company paid for sure helped. But same thing with health insurance. I hope I don't need it. But when the fire department takes me to the hospital, I just want to be able to pay.
ambulance is gonna take you there if they get there.
So if it's an ambulance, I gotta pay
The
for
fire
it.
department will be there, but they're not gonna transport you.
No, I need them to pick you up, put me on top, and take me
I'll give you
a
clarification. For some quick clarification, so,
It might be a safer ride, because I'm gonna tell you, riding that back ambulance,
Yeah.
that's a rough ride on the road we got. Bounce
so
around
we
there.
wanna talk about, fairness and where it comes into, just so everybody understands, the city pays $7,504 for an individual. If you look at an employee spouse, the city pays almost $12,000 in insurance. And, when you go up to a family, the city's paying $16,809 for a whole family. So fairness can be looked at a lot of
Two
different
different
ways.
ways, I understand that.
And so that's why we have to,
I can vocalize how I feel, okay?
I was just making sure.
I mean, that's my point,
It
and
just
you can't
goes-
change my points, but I've gotta say what I'm gonna say, and I understand that. I understand you can look at it both ways.
Yeah, that's why y'all
But
gotta
at
make the
the
hard
end of the
decisions.
day, when I made the statement about the fire department, I understand the mission of the city is important, and I think I pretty well said all the other departments are important also. But again, the training of our firemen is above and beyond. We're fortunate that they all have that certification. But anyways, neither here or there, back to the 75 cents.
Yeah, we need to make a decision on that so we can get past page 2. We don't need to be here till 3:00 in the morning trying to get to page 5.
Well, you got a board meeting.
See, if Bill's gonna kick us out at 6.
5.
5.
Five.
Okay, well, so
Okay,
where do we stand? There's 3 of us that want to go to 2.7. I think there's at least 3 of us that agree with that.
No problem with
How
that.
about the 75 cents with the 3 of us that agree on that? I know there's 2.
we're gonna go at 2.7, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna go to 2.7 on ad valorem, but now we're talking about the 75
That's
cents.
So I have one question about that. We're doing the 1% to give the city manager flexibility and also to do the merit raise.
Yeah,
So
no,
we're removing that.
yeah.
No, that's 75 cents.
So the 75 cents.
There's no
across the
1%,
board.
there's no, the merit went out the window because they didn't do it, so.
Yeah. we're gonna
Hopefully
work
next
on-
year we'll have
We're
that.
gonna work on that this year.
So that we can get progress reports on your ideas for next year to gradually get into our merit rates, so we don't have to get upset about it. Okay,
I'm gonna take that one under my wing and we're gonna,
yes.
I've already had some discussions with David and with Eddie, so we're looking at that already.
I wasn't really upset, Commissioner, about it. I said, but I was pointed out that we as a commission directed our city manager, and our city manager didn't follow through.
Yes.
So we're gonna,
That's a different
it's
story.
gonna be, so we're doing 75, so we're 75 cents and 2.7.
That's fine with me.
Everybody,
Good with that?
you got it? Okay. Back to page 2.
We're still on page 2 there.
So when did you wanna, I mean, are we good with fire department? I know there was some question on legal services.
Yeah, I'll come back
Is there-
next meeting on that.
Okay, and we had gotten down to, we've gotten through.
We talked streets already,
So we're up to the water.
right?
department. So,
Just real quick on the street, that mower is sitting outside.
Yeah, we saw it, I like it.
very nice.
I'm gonna take it home to see if you
And
cut my
you
grass.
should have always seen that.
I came by yesterday, I already put my bid in.
Do you get it first?
I get it first.
Okay, all right.
I didn't hear any of that.
No, that wasn't
Neither did
recorded.
my staff. Our commissioners at the wrong city. And y'all got the warranty information and it is local. Everything is local, the service local.
It's more money than what we were talking about, correct?
Yeah, I think it was $5,000.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, but you know, it's equipment that we need.
And and our biggest issue with it was service local.
Right.
That's our big issue. We need to make sure we do services.
Okay, water. Any question in water department?
I have just a quick question. Are we having issues with, and I asked a question a year ago about fire hydrants, and I was told everything was fine. Are we having issues with fire hydrants, or are they just old, or
Not
what?
that I'm aware of, but as, you know, it's not a major issue, but if somebody hits one, or we do have some that spring a leak, we have to
But
go
we're
out.
at 72,000 in the budget for fire hydrants.
It's only 3.
It's only 3.
It's only 3?
They're expensive.
They're expensive. And we've been buying them all along, but they've been coming out of the
Right.
meter.
Right.
So we're just breaking it up.
Okay. Well, that answers my question.
And just so you know, it's just not that little red thing sticking out of the ground. There's a lot of stuff that goes underneath the ground and back so you can shut it off. And where that's a 90-degree turn, there's a lot of special stuff that has to go to keep that from blowing out, so.
No, the water meters, I'm assuming that's the new type water meters.
Yes, everything's the new.
And how much are those would be?
Close to 5,000. We had a figure on
I was
it.
just thinking we were getting for $105.
$4,600 each, I believe, if I remember right, somewhere in that vicinity, right?
It's on $600 a pop.
Yeah,
How much?
With the transmitter.
with the transmitters and everything, they're about 600.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's just what we're buying, because the new development, the contractors are gonna pay for it.
Well, we have to buy it
We
first.
buy it.
and then
We
they
buy
order
first,
from
yeah,
us.
but it's a pass-through.
Yeah,
Meters
but I
here,
mean, we've got to
well,
spend the money
right.
first.
Right.
There's some in the operating as well. They're in both spots. When they buy them in bulk, we capitalize them. And when the individual ones that we're buying first, we're buying all in bulk, but when we can't designate them for going to a certain location, then they're expensive. We have two buckets for meters.
City manager, what's going on with a chlorine booster? You had mentioned to me that probably we wouldn't have to do it. Are we gonna have to do it?
I don't believe it. Bill, do you have an update?
So we're not sure, we're shooting at a moving target. Because Bay County bought our tank,
Right,
they have chlorinization there.
right,
So we're hoping it's gonna cover us,
okay.
but probably not. We're probably going to have to do a chlorinization because it's so far to the shipyard and there's only so much use and those lines are this big around, so the water doesn't move fast enough, the chlorine dies. So we need to chlorinization it to meet requirements.
Can I ask?
But we did take a delay because after we sold that water tank and they were like, they're gonna.
Right.
We needed we wanted to make sure we didn't want to just waste money.
How many homes are we talking about out there at the shipyard? You talking the shipyard and 2 or 3 homes?
It starts to die right before East Bay.
Okay.
And then you have Sandy Creek,
Okay,
Air Park.
so it's not only the shipyard, it's Sandy Creek and the park and the shipyard and.
But we're regulated all the way to the very end.
I'm just asking.
Yes, sir.
I got some more information on the hydrant if you want to hear
No, I'm just curious, $72,000, I thought we were buying a bunch of them, but that's three fire.
These hydrants have the LDH connection, the large diameter hose connection.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit, that's a specialty hydrant. That's the hose we're running on our fire trucks.
yeah, I'm happy with that.
When these subdivisions are built, who buys those fire hydrants, the builder or the developer?
The
Or do
developer.
we?
Developer. They put all the infrastructure in, we inspect it, and then we accept it.
So they put the first one in and everything after that's on us.
Well, they put them all.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
each location, they put the first
That's
fire
right.
hydrant, and then if it needs replaced, that's on us. Any other questions on the
Is
water?
that truck under water, or is it under a different department, that that half-ton truck, 4x4, 47,000? That's
Sewer.
sewer,
Yeah, that's in sewer. So we go with water,
I'm good.
we'll move on to sewer then. So did you have a question about the truck?
Well, I don't know, we don't have, we don't have anything on that truck. What's the maintenance on it? What's the problem? Is this the truck that was in an accident that I never got an answer to?
This is a new truck, brand new, it'll be for the supervisor, because he keeps getting stuck going out to places with the two-wheel drives. It's gonna be similar to the truck Bill has.
How many people do we have in that department? How many vehicles do we have?
There's like 8 people in water and 8 people in sewer. I don't know how many trucks we have. That's a bit.
It'd be nice to know.
And just so you know, this particular truck is going to replace a 1998.
I thought we were replacing it with a brand new.
This was new.
So what's this?
Which one are we talking about now? Are we talking about?
Sewer.
We're talking about sewer.
Sewer.
Right. So the utility superintendent, he's water and sewer. So it's gonna be used for water and sewer by the utility superintendent.
Okay, the question is whether this truck is a new truck or a replacement.
So, real quick, we had it in there to replace. And we were gonna surplus the 98. We have some issues with, anytime we need a spare truck, we don't have it. A great place that I can discuss that is utility billing. We have 2 trucks up there, and when one of them go down, we're scrambling, trying to pull a truck from somewhere else, because utility billing, those guys have to have it. So we were looking at seeing if we could take that 98 and rehab it and make it good enough for us to be able to use as a separate flow truck.
Okay, so this truck is not, this truck is not a replacement, it's a new truck.
This is the new truck for water and sewer superintendent, and we'll just take all the vehicles and we ship them down. The 98, we're still evaluating to see what the cost is gonna be to bring it back. We figure maybe $3,000-4,000 to bring it back. Bill, how many miles does it go? You know?
The odometer is broke, but the last reading we got was 90 something, and it's been a while, so if I had to guess, probably 200,000 miles.
Run that by me again.
200,000.
For a three-quarter ton truck?
200,000 miles.
Oh, 200,000 miles.
Yeah, on the 98. It's a 98 truck, it's old. But
I have
we
one here.
still look at maybe that. The only thing that we've got going for us, and me and Bill was discussing this earlier today, is it is a 90 model Chevy truck. Them things are surplusing for stupid amounts of money. And it might be that it's more cost effective to surplus it. These things are going stupid. I mean, my old truck, I got a ton of money out of that thing. And it's just a guy walked up and offered me cash, and I took it, sold it. It wasn't doing me any good, and I was ready to get rid of it, so.
If you're talking about 4,000 for improvements to make it a good, just a utility truck for us, that kind of thing, that's a lot cheaper than buying another truck.
It's a lot cheaper to buy another truck, and that's why we took that out as being a replacement.
That's
We're
fine.
gonna try to bring that truck back and use it as a float. And it's primarily gonna be the float for utility billing. So we do have a truck right now that is an issue in utility bills. We're having issues with air conditioner and.
That's the older of the two. Ford Rangers, it's still,
No, we don't use the Rangers.
No,
They're all-
Dodge.
They're all right, 2 brands. Just the basic models.
Was that an automatic that time?
Oh, wait, yeah, it's automatic, yeah. I don't think we have any trucks that are not the regular models.
Any other questions on sewer? Okay, solid waste.
So. Do it.
Tell us about solid waste.
Solid waste is our anomaly this year, because we have the solid waste bid that's out right now. I received 2 RFIs earlier this week that contains a ton of documents you can actually, she's trying to get addendums out right now. You know, as we know, we've got that out for bid. If it comes in and, you know, low enough that, you know, y'all would consider us moving over, then this department switches completely. So I don't know if we hold this item for another budget meeting for the next one to discuss then until we have better direction, because when is the bids? Next week?
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, next week is when we're gonna be opening bids, and I think that kind of tells us, so we can get bogged down in it right now, but we don't know if it's gonna be worth discussing, or if let's just move on to the next department.
if you could make a note, if it's gonna come back because the contract's too high, I'd like to see, you told me at one time that we kept a log of all the pickups, right?
Not individual houses, but we have the load tickets.
Because I've been doing my own survey and I'm just trying to figure out the utility, well, we'll talk about that a different day. Let's see what happens with the contract, and this is a different issue itself. I don't want to bog down with that right now.
So we're just talking about solid waste at our next meeting. Okay, and the CRA budget, and the Bertha spillway, I don't know if there's much to talk about. You know what he's done. Yeah,
There's no.
okay, so should we go on to?
And we got past.
3.
God, I'm still working on grants for the spillway. That's the best I got. I actually have been in contact with somebody that knows where a couple of the pots of money is that I'm discussing with right now. That's what I was talking to when originally. I'm searching everywhere trying to find something. I'm very disappointed in the state for turning down a grant for a spillway that has wetlands on the upper end of it, and it makes no sense. Once again, you're back to what's going on at the state level.
And part of our stormwater system, everything they talk about on the news and everything, and veto.
Yeah.
Because we got
A lot of conversation, no backup, no backbone.
I really did not think that it was gonna get this bad, but it's bad right now.
They're being cautious around that spillway, right, city manager? They're being cautious around that spillway. I saw the big crane out there right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
I have one question probably for David on the budget summary. Our property values down for this year. I see that our tax, with the same rate, it was showing from the amended 2025 to the total 2026 is less. So that made me think the property values go down, or is there something in that number that I'm not seeing?
Our values are actually up, so it's hard to look at that number.
it should be coming up.
That number is not just taxes, so.
Okay.
Do we know how many people we added to Callaway last year as far as households? We don't know.
The population went up, but it doesn't go up, it doesn't match what you would think the population.
There's not a big difference
So the
between,
state uses their population rates. The last one I saw was like 14,000, we were over 15,000 for East Orange, so they're not even back to there when they do their math to allocate funds back to the city.
Okay, what? What do you
Page 6,
Yeah, I was gonna say, revenues,
can I talk about the budget summary a minute?
yeah, what do you want?
There's a $6,000 increase in legal services. Why? From 58 to 63. What's causing that?
In legal, okay. I
Legal.
thought you said
Our
legal services.
no, legal,
Legal,
our attorney.
yeah, from the amended budget last year, 2025 amended to the 26 budget.
We do also utilize the secondary legal service out of Tallahassee, Hopkins and Monroe, who's the legal city attorneys for personnel things that are not, technically, we've used them, they helped us with the drug policy to make sure we were compliant. And so that's, gonna be a little increase there.
Is that where the increase is, or I don't know, I'm asking the question. We have
Well,
an
we're
increase.
currently we're projected out to be at 57,000, so we're gonna go over the current budget.
Is that
Page
because
9
we have-
has the details, so it's 62,000 for the normal legal services, and then 1,500 for copies of the road increases that amount. We are using more legal services right now than we have in the past.
I guess my question is, we have a contract with, our attorney, and that contract is 60 grand, correct?
No, it's based on hours.
Yeah, it's an hourly
okay.
rate.
Yeah, that's based on that.
Are we having more calls to Tallahassee on personnel issues? Is that what's causing it? People issues?
Not necessarily.
It's just some of the other stuff that's coming up throughout the city that Kevin's working on, or they're working on it.
Right.
Land deals, looking at all of this other stuff that we've done through the year. So we're actually projected out to be at 57,000, so we increased the lineup to cover that. Whether they'll spend that full amount or not, I don't know, but it's the cost of, the legal fees are going up. And they did raise rates in 2024, so you're seeing higher rates now than what we've had in the past as well, so.
Okay, so we go ahead to page 6. Question on page 6. Speak up, and we go to page 7. Page 7. Page 8. No? You go to page 9.
How many officers going for?
We have 16, 17.
Great.
I think it's 18, I don't know. I think it's 18.
believe it's 18.
It's on the next one.
Page 8?
Actually, it says she can.
Whatever they contract, like, doesn't go, it's 5% increase over last year. Again,
Yeah, it's the same, it's the same amount of officers. Whatever we've had.
I'm pretty sure it's 18.
Yeah.
Maybe she
No,
can.
I'm sorry, on August of 2023, they had, in addition to the approved 18 referencing the agreement, they approved one additional for the 19.
So 19, okay. All the rest of the items in the budget, we know where the personnel is. That was one that didn't know, for sure.
Anything else on page 9? Page 10. City manager budget. We're still doing longevity as well as our $10 a year.
I was thinking that you were also sharing, at least the expense sharing another partial employee.
He does a little bit of it, he answers my phone when I don't answer it.
Okay, but I was thinking in the past that we split part of that into your.
No,
We haven't split anybody since we took over the public works. Just the city manager.
Okay. All right. So down, so we're in.
Anything on page 10? Okay, page 11. Finance.
I have a couple of questions on the next one.
On page 12,
No,
okay, go ahead.
I just want to know overtime, since our city clerk is in salary.
Is her assistant and whatever.
Jay is hourly, so if he does planning board meetings and things, he would get overtime.
Okay. Then the travel and per diem, we're not budgeting, we budgeted, I'm trying to get to, because I have a hard time reading the sheet in front of me. Bear with me.
3,000 for travel and per diem.
It was budgeted 3,000 this year, and it's 3,000 next year, it stayed.
And she did go to a conference in July, so that's not in the roll forward number that wasn't recorded.
Well, this, the training conference will be next July, right?
That's where it was, it's this July, she just went, so that's why there's no number in the.
There are
May
fall
column.
ones and summer conferences. The fall one I did not go to last year just because Jay was still pretty new and I didn't feel comfortable leaving for, a week. But the next one will be in October, so
This will all help with your certifications, you know.
yes, that's where a lot, the
That's what-
majority of the
that's the goal,
education
is we got to
credits
get you
come
up there.
from.
Okay.
So you're going to 2 this coming year, most likely October and July.
Correct.
Anything else on page 12?
No.
Page 13. Nothing. 14.
Under human resources, all of a sudden I see a conference pop up. It's never been here before. Travel. We've never done that before. This year. So go
If we had travel, we took it out, there's something under the travel.
Yeah, we took it out. We actually reduced it to
It's
0.
not in there.
He took it on, print the sheet. Just had a question.
I did have one question. I know if somebody doesn't take the insurance because they have other coverage that's comparable or whatever, they get the $100 a month for the $1,200. What other health insurance does the city pay for an employee?
Other?
Well, because I noticed if you look under health insurance supplement, and this, because I know it's a one-person department, there's the
Yes,
$1,200.
group insurance is gonna be life insurance.
Okay, so
So
that's,
that line includes both health and life, because we pay the 100% of a life
right,
policy.
that's why I just wondered what else we were,
So that
that
would be
makes
that,
sense.
both of the group insurances go there, so that's
Perfect,
health and accident, the health, accident, and life insurance are going up.
perfect, thank you. Okay, 15, page 15.
question always, well, it comes up, so I'll go ahead and ask it, but, code enforcement is extremely busy. Are we okay with the 2 officers and the office help, or do we need more officers?
Keep cutting my revenues. The answer's gonna be no. No, we're fine with 2. It was discussed, we're okay. They're doing a good job of handling the city and their workload.
It's almost, I mean, people need to realize with the requirements that we have from the state, not only our own ordinances, but then the combination of our ordinances and the state requirements. Nothing is simple. I mean, you just don't go up to the door and say, cut your grass. I'm just using that as an example.
And I will
it's a
tell
whole
you right
bunch
now,
of due process.
one of the hugest things that we have right now is the mail. That's killing us right now. We have to send that notice of violation out, certified mail, and sometimes it takes weeks to get it back. And we can't do anything until we get that green card back. And that's been an issue of, hey, why is it still here? I'm waiting on a green card.
There seem to be lots of issues with our postal service.
And it's not this year.
No,
At first, I thought it was just here. It's
no,
not.
I said we know. Not what the solution is.
We might be worse, but
I guess we'll have to start FedEx and UPS and notices.
whew.
Page 16.
Well, very honestly, 16, I'm asking the question again. When are we gonna need a new fire truck? Because very honestly, Chief, how many years
Be
ago?
very careful what's about to come out of your mouth.
In our 5-year strategic plan, we have one in 2 years. But of course, I know we just look at things. We gotta get our staffing back up, get the new folks trained, and then hopefully, that small rescue will start absorbing most of the beating. But we do have one, 2 years, but like I said, we'll look at things at that time. The trucks are operating right now, strong.
You're looking at $1 million.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we bought the fire truck, 250,000.
Yes.
Then the next one we bought was 400 and something. Next one we bought was 600 and something.
It's all that emissions, the emissions that are on these trucks now, they're actually taking away compartment space because the EPA's gotten involved. It's like a freight train sitting on a fire truck, and that's what's driving it up. And also, since we're talking trucks, you're looking at about a 3-year turnaround on build time. So that's just something, like I said, I'll, just keep talking to the city manager and tell them what's happening. So we'll just go from there.
What is the status of Rescue One? Is it?
Right, yeah, I was
It's
gonna
gonna
ask.
be at the next meeting.
Yeah, it's
Are we not using it now?
we just don't have the staffing. We have one out on hurt leave. We have one open spot. We have one new guy. So it's,
I
we
understand.
want to send EMTs out here. We want to bring the best product to these folks. So, and these guys got to get their EMT.
Chief, I guess I missed the boat. My understanding is that medical calls, we were gonna use that vehicle, period. So why are we using the trucks?
Because we don't have the proper staffing. We got
But you're gonna go to the call, right?
Yes.
You got a medical call, you're gonna go to it.
Right.
So why are we using our big truck versus a small truck? What does that have to do with the time of day?
When you have a 5-man shift, it's throwing everything off because I got to keep that engine ready for a fire. And it's got to maintain its crew there. I can't have a senior personnel on that rescue truck and a fire breaks out and then I leave one of my star performers there at the med call, even though they're just as equally important. It's just that dynamics that we're dealing with right now.
So when you go on a medical call, you gotta take the fire truck, because when you're there on a medical call, you may get a fire call.
That's
That
right.
would,
So when with the amount of staffing that has been down here recently, which we're trying to address,
Yeah.
we're already seeing the staffing. Once we hit the staffing, it'll be used on whichever shift that, has full staffing.
We're gonna have 2 people in that vehicle or 1?
Two. Yeah, you cannot do effective CPR with just one person.
And the fire truck has that maintained free.
it's gonna take 2 of them to get to you.
Yes, sir.
Fire truck has that maintained free. Once again, our goal is to keep the ISO ratings. And putting 2 on a fire truck is not gonna help, it's gonna hurt big time. So we sacrifice in one area to make sure we can maintain staffing requirements. Once we get our staff back up, it'll be running full speed. I'm managing, we could do that.
Do y'all have the approved budget and everything you need for the additional staffing? Because this is what it's been about for.
Yes, we have 6 spots, we just gotta hire another one, and we gotta have one of the firemen come back off the surgery. Well, he just had surgery 2 months ago and get back to full duty. And we're back to 6, 6, and 6. That's what we did.
More actively looking for somebody right now.
We have 1 spot, yes, sir.
Tell you what, with all these events that we're having and all that, I'm constantly complimenting leisure services, with fire departments in every one of them, and y'all do just a fantastic job. And y'all are certainly kid-friendly,
Yep.
and y'all know how to water the yards.
A lot of times I think I'm running a daycare, so we have a lot of practice.
Every event they've got.
Yeah. And I think Saturday, y'all got 2 calls, because one of the trucks left and the guys were gathering up and they had to leave.
That's it.
Okay, anything else in the fire department, during 16 or 17?
16.
16.
Under, I think it's a typo, but under land acquisition, that has nothing to do with land on boat race, because didn't we pay for boat race land already? Under the amount. It says land for boat race in the second fire station.
That would be for the land we talked about purchasing on boat races,
Yeah, we have
for the
that.
fire department.
We have.
That is not been purchased.
Oh, I'm getting it wrong. I was thinking of the other land. Forget it. Let's see.
Okay, so go with 17,
I'm okay.
16, okay, 18.
17. No,
Oh,
hold on.
17,
Yeah, hold on. Under books and publications, under, I don't know about you all, but if we pay for the books that we get in our box,
For the books.
yeah,
Or the magazine.
the magazines,
Most of those are free,
Yeah, those are free.
like the government.
we're not paying for any.
No, we don't pay subscriptions
All right.
for books.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm with Bob.
Is that-
We shouldn't be.
Most of that is just anyway.
That's just books. They
I
just
buy
sign.
mine.
Me too.
That's the way I tell them about to send them, they still do.
okay, we go with 17, how about 18?
I don't know, I guess I've never asked the question before, but we're not giving a utility supervisor a cell phone allowance.
It's available, we can add it in there, but she does not want one.
She doesn't want it?
Nope.
Well, that's fine, you don't want it. No, you don't have to add it in, I'm just asking you a question.
Eighteen, 19,
Don't do that, so highlight it, so. We're doing streets,
hang on. Okay, we're doing 19, streets. Do you have something?
I'm looking.
Cover too, okay. I heard you said you had a bunch of stuff highlighted.
yeah, on streets, I'm looking at where, Because I can't read this, so I gotta go back to this here.
City manager, I just got a note here, uniform services.
Oh, yeah.
Are we getting the best out of this particular uniform service?
Haven't gone out.
I've got a little bit of other information, so. But it seems like they're not,
We had an issue a few years ago and we called them on the carpet and they fixed it. I'm not aware of any issues now. Bill, ever had any issues?
There's always something, you
I
know.
mean, there's always gonna be, you're gonna have something, no matter if it's
I know.
Uni one or.
It's like, it's the best option we have, but occasionally you hear guys, they don't get their uniforms back, but it's hit and miss, I think it's just the nature of the beast, uniforms.
Bay County just addressed that for the county too. They went after their guys.
no. Well, it's been, like Bill was saying, if I recall, 10, 15 years ago, that, they had the same issues and we were changing uniform companies, so I just bringing it up. If we need to change.
I think we go off the bid since it's the same contract we've had forever. There's more than one vendor in this county that does a uniform. Did we rebid that contract anytime soon?
The city corporation, there's a contract out there. I know we did it when Dennis was here, there was
That's
issues
because,
before
we had a
Dennis.
system going that we should rebid these contracts after they expire.
Well, that was because there were issues that it was brought to them and
Right.
we're gonna pull that contract.
Right.
And they corrected the issues.
Yeah, just because they corrected issues doesn't mean that we get the best price too, for our service.
We can
So
go
the
through.
current contract was done in September 2023, it was a term of 60 months. So that contract is in effect until 2028.
So you're keeping up with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got a big spreadsheet.
Anything else on 18?
Yeah, I understand. I'm on 9. Okay, go ahead. I'm okay with 18.
Okay, we'll go on 19. Did you have something?
Yeah,
on
I
19?
had a question, city manager. When I look at streets and I look at maintenance shop and I look at all those departments, all these first we went where we didn't have any tools. $10,000 worth of tools in streets. What kind of tools are we buying for $10,000? It says various tools and supplies. What does that mean? That means nothing to me. What are we buying for 10 grand?
Operating supplies.
And that's each department is that way too. It's not only this department, it's all
It's
three.
gonna vary based on the department, but like, a lot of stuff like here, they're buying weed eaters, chainsaws, the parts and pieces that go with those kind of things. So it's stuff that they're buying,
Saw blades,
saw blades,
drill bits.
spray paint, the markings.
Chains they break on our toes.
But it's not just wrenches and.
Yeah, I understand that, but each department has about, you're talking about $30,000 in public works and miscellaneous tools. That's a hell of a lot of tools. 30 grand.
It's tools and supplies, so it's not just tools.
Right.
So it's gonna be the rubber gloves and boots and.
Was this the same as last year?
Last year was 10,000 and 10,000, it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed.
13,000, but.
Road materials and supplies, my
The answer,
pet
yes,
subject,
the answer is yes.
right?
Yeah, we're tracking water repairs where they're going back.
Chris marks the slips every time they come into purchasing and we charge it accordingly to the department. And they buy a full dump truck load of asphalt to fix, street, it's all charged to street. If it's broken up between different ones, then they charge it off to the department. So it all depends on where it's going. Chris marks all the slips, he lets Patrice know, and then we allocate it to the proper place.
Okay,
So if it's water breaks,
water line cuts, sidewalk repairs, another pet subject to where, that, you know, where we got a sidewalk in front of a resident that just got a load of, whatever, you know, including, furniture or whatever, and they break up the sidewalk. Do we charge that resident?
we have to see it happen.
You have to see it happen.
It's just like the, it's like what the kid was saying. You gotta see it happen. If we don't see it happen and it's just broke up, how do we know who to charge it to? I mean, go up and ask them, did you break that sidewalk?
You got the sidewalk broken up. You got a track going across the water meter, that's another situation. Yeah. Track going across the water meter, track in the grass and all that. We don't know who did it, but we know that resident is responsible for purchasing or doing whatever.
And what if it was the power company? Or, heck, what if it was our water truck and we didn't catch it? I mean, it's like Kip says, if we don't see it,
I know there's still a lot of sidewalks that are broken from the hurricane, from all the different things that were.
the biggest issue we have with sidewalks also is they break because of tree roots. They push them up.
So my question.
Anything else on that, team?
Commissioner Griggs,
Yes.
you brought it up. We have done it. Asphalt being charged to the right department. Don't want to hear that question no more. I'm tired of hearing it.
Okay. Well, I promise not to bring it up next year.
You can bring it up and say, are we still doing it? Yes, sir, we are.
Yeah.
It took us a while to get the process into place, but we now have a good, solid process.
Okay, anything on page 20? Anything on page 20? Page 21?
I still don't have a good feeling about leisure services and that extra person that we're hiring. Since we're using the person that's doing the job now, that's doing it half the time, I don't understand why that person can't do it full time. So we're gonna hire 2 people to do the job, each one of them only half of the time. Is that correct?
Everything we do is cross-trained and multi-use across the board. There is nobody that's hired and that's the only job they do. And so we could have easily just said, we want to add somebody else, but we know that this department, that the horticulturist needs another person to help pull the slack. But it's not just about that job. It's just about having additional personnel because of the workload and how much is going on with this. I mean, our parks are incredible and we're doing nothing but making them
Let's
better.
complain about that.
And, but that's what they do. That's what leisure services does. So as we continue to grow and, you know, I hate to say this, but we've been talking about it, most likely we were going to have another person because we're just getting so much more and so much more. And it's really just about adding another body. It's not about the job description itself.
Well, I can understand that, but when we started all of this, we were told what that person was going to do. So let's get, our facts together when we come to us, and then I wouldn't ask the question. I was told what that person was going to do.
That is
Now
going
you're
to be one
telling
of
me
their main
something different.
responsibilities. Yes, that's the goal of one of the main responsibilities is going to be this particular thing. I mean, that's what, when we hire, we're going to hire in, hey, you're going to have to either have these certifications or you're going to have to be required to get them within a certain time, and that's going to be under Kim. And because that's going to be one of the main things in your job description is you're going to have to do this.
The person that we hired last year, the sports coordinator, who is he?
He starts next week.
So he's been on the payroll for a year, we haven't had anybody in that position for a whole year?
No, we haven't been able to fill it till, we just got to.
This is
Even
about,
start.
this is about, once again, we had a job description and we weren't just gonna put anybody in it. This person was gonna have to be able to assess it.
So we have somebody going into
They
that
do
now.
have some very well qualified.
So very well qualified. How many years experience? 20?
Over 20.
Yeah.
And to, if I can, about the horticulturist, a lot of the other jobs that he's doing are highly skilled things that not just anybody from the crew could do, operating our robots and painting, doing logo painting. I mean, so it's within, I would say, you know, he's earning his pay is, you know, for that pay grade, the type of jobs that he does for us. You know, and we just, you know, now with football, I mean, we have an incredible amount of extra work we're putting in painting that football field. And now we've got semi-pro teams have been playing over there. It takes away a lot of extra hours doing all this field prep and painting. And, you know, and we've got a lot that we'd like to be doing, like the ditches at Veterans Park that are overgrown with weeds right now. We just can't seem to keep up. You know, we've got all the beds on Kendall Parkway with landscaping. Port Park, there's an incredible amount more that we didn't do before the park was rebuilt. You know, all the plant beds took a lot of extra man hours and time, chemicals and fertilizer. And we've stepped up a lot of our areas. Brittany Woods Park, you know, we do a lot more there. We used to fertilize it once a year and have it mow and weed. Now we've got a lot of different obstacles there to deal with and a lot of extra things to take care of.
Okay. Equipment rentals, we reduced it by $2,000, right? Is that correct? Under leisure services?
Yes.
And what's left over that you haven't rent?
Things like a drum roller, Harley rig that we just redid the parking lot.
We can't buy that.
So we could, but it would sit more time than,
Okay.
so it's really not worth having one. And like a sod cutter, we used to own one,
All
but
right.
it sits more time than
When we use it,
yeah, so it makes more sense to rent
and
one.
hopefully with the pavilion and whatever else we're gonna do, we do away with renting those tents.
Correct. And the man hours it takes to set the tents up.
You guys put them up, I thought the contractor did.
Well, just recently, but most time we have been getting one from the health department and setting it up.
Oh,
And we had one that we got from Tyndall Air Force Base years ago that, but we would, you know, a lot, like the bigger tents take a good bit of time to put up and take back down.
Okay, so does that take care of 21?
Yeah.
How about 22? Nothing on 22?
No.
23? Okay, takes us up to 24, the CRA fund.
Land purchase, Brittany Woods. Any movement on that?
Yes. Should be out of this year's budget.
So you took that out? Okay, I see that now. Okay, good.
Anything else in the CRA? Okay, page 26. CIP fund. Anything you want to say about any of these? Just give me the opportunity, I'm saying you need to. And you got revenues and the expenditures. Page 27. Okay. We'll go to the water fund, page 28.
I have some questions here I gotta get to.
Okay,
Here.
okay. Yep. As long as we've got questions here, we'll just stay right there.
What are we leasing, rental leases in the waterfront?
Bill? You know where I am?
I know. Bypass pumps, in the past, we had lift stations where we needed more than we owned. That's probably the biggest thing.
We've been budgeting, well, in 24, we budgeted $1,500. Can't see it there, so.
I believe some of that was for signage for when they had water breaks on the street, and they were using it to, and lights to fix, and then to detour the traffic.
Yeah, we've got traffic maintenance, we, every once in a while, we've got bring lights in, we're doing late night repairs.
Okay, I'm gonna ask about tools, because it's $18,000. I wish we'd have a little bit more breakdown on that, but that's okay.
The half in the main on the water, the other half being sewer, I guess that's the supervisor dividing that up.
It goes 50/50, it's 50/50 both ways.
Still in 29?
No.
Okay, any generals on 29? If not, 30?
Can we go back just a quick second on 29?
Sure.
What's prompting, I know it's $1,000, but all of a sudden sewage and water, what's the training? What training?
And you travel per diem.
Yeah, travel per diem. What's the training?
Well, we do,
If they just had traffic safety training, we pay for that.
Yeah.
They all went to a community center, we had leader services, water, sewer, they just that kind of training. They either have training for for certain functions for water and certain functions for sewer for distribution.
It's just that it's never been here before and all of a sudden it pops up.
We have a new
See what I'm saying?
supervisor, and he's asked for that, so we could have that line, so he could have that budget item for that.
I'm not over, it just popped up all of a sudden. It's never been here.
and we've done it in the past, we just have to pull it from
Someplace else.
someplace else.
Yeah.
We'd rather be a little bit more transparent, so we can see exactly what they're, what they're doing. Yeah, that's right, we did that. We did that.
Okay, page 30. Page 31, sewer fund. Thirty-two.
Solid waste, I had tipping fees. Obviously they don't go for years. And then my education.
So you got your solid waste,
No, I'm fine with that.
okay. Which way we discussing? After you get the bids and see where you stand.
I mean, if you got anything other than, are we gonna have a department, we can give you any information you have on typically, whatever.
No, I'm just looking at it, it's gonna go up and down, you can't control that.
And you can expect it to probably go up because the canopy's coming back, so we are seeing an increase in the amount of it has.
I just go through sometimes and highlight stuff, because I'm just trying to figure out, so I can see it.
The great thing about it is it's all based on actual owners.
We've already discussed personnel, let that take us care of it. And then the fund summary, if there's anything anybody wanted to talk about on that, that pretty much gets us through. didn't make that many changes today. We had to go on the wages. I don't know if you make any changes to anything else. Everybody good?
Thank you. Great job. Thanks for coming down to 2.7. I think citizens deserve.
And thank you all for agreeing to the increased rates. I think everybody's pretty happy. So,
We will make all these changes, and just so you'll know some of the things that we talked about at the last meeting, we went through the budget. We are going to have a very, right now, we work with 14 items on the agenda for next Tuesday night. And that's going to be, you know, some of the purchases and some of the things that we have discussed. And we can go ahead and do the budget and get it done.
The only thing I'd like to see, city managers, that for public works and those departments, I'd like to see a vehicle ratio in relationship to number of people.
Yes, sir.
And at a different meeting, I'll talk to you why. I'll talk why. I just want to see that ratio.
okay?
Generally, 2 people per truck. But not always. Not always. Like our, you know, our lift station foreman, he's running by himself in the truck because that's all he does is run the lift station. But we can, I'll be more than happy to get you, I'll get you that information.
Well, I open it up for public comment. Does anybody in the audience want to speak? Mr. Augusta?
Look, speak here or?
Well, can you use that microphone?
Sure.
So that actually can,
I don't think we have any trouble hearing his voice. He's very loud.
well, I didn't know if we picked
Well,
up.
we'll put a screen on over. I won't do that.
David knows.
Yeah, I know.
So you would have to make.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, you go ahead and say your name.
I said, yeah, I typically start at 1
Okay, David Augustus, 6609 Prison Street. First and foremost, I want to credit Mr. Schultz for the wonderful work that he continues to do. I mean, the man's got a good thinking cap on his head to go through all these details the way he does in our city budget. And of course, Mr. Cook, even though some don't believe it, he does have a brain between his ears. He's done a fantastic job. And he's, I mean, ever since he came here in 2017, I know I'm being recorded. Since 2017, Penny, I know you and Commissioner Pelletier can remember this. In his first few months, you know, he found up to nearly $400,000 in waste that was being done away that he eliminated. And at that time since then, he's done his homework here and there. He's not perfect, but then again, I'm not perfect either. Even as my wife and she were here. But I do want to address something. Before Mr. Griggs even brought it up about our city employees having a skin in the game, I held that belief before Mr. Griggs became Ward 2 Commissioner, and I've said it numerous times myself since I've been able to come to these meetings, that our city workers are our city lifeblood. Anytime I see a city worker, whether it's just out on the street or if they're shopping at my job, I always take time to thank them for the job they do. And the department heads that are here, you know, they're the heads of those departments because, you know, they're the best of the best in those departments. And our city workers do deserve whatever benefit they can get, especially with cost of living going up and even with federal breaks that are coming. And I have to address this. This is the city of Callaway. This is not Washington, D.C. Congressman Dunn and Congressman Petronis are not here. It is you, the city council, that decides what our city workers get. And Mr. Harris should be ashamed of himself for insulting our city workers at the last meeting. It's one thing if he's going to question you and question his fellow commissioners, because that's his right for checks and balances. But he should not be saying that we need to follow the leader with Washington, D.C., with the state. We should follow it here with our own city rules, our own city charter.
And if he wants to help do something to help the city, maybe he should consider giving up his $10,000 a year salary, which that is a paid job. Y'all are not volunteers, y'all are paid. He should follow President Trump's example and maybe sacrifice that $10,000 a year salary, because I know for a fact he can afford it. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak? Nobody? Then I guess we will adjourn. And our next meeting is next Tuesday, but that's a commission meeting, so we'll be here at 6 o'clock instead of at 1 and 2.
Before we adjourn,
Yes.
at some point, could we have a workshop on talking about reserves, specifically reserves?
Yeah, I mean, we've got another workshop scheduled for the 19th, I believe. Could we do it then?
Right.
Would that,
Seems fine.
would that work?
And I asked you exactly what you're looking for, because reserves is a calculated number.
Well, I understand.
It's not a bank number. It's the difference between assets and liabilities and the equity that we have. So it doesn't actually tie to a bank number. So it's,
I'm not looking at the bank, I'm looking at where we're at on reserves in relationship where we should be and what the excess is. In other words, is that we have a threshold that we, as a commission, established,
17%.
17%. And I'd like to see in every fund where we exceeded that 17%. Because there's a lot of things in this city that needs to be done, you know. Paving is a good example, but not only paving, but there's water and sewage. You know, we have so many issues that need to be done, and I just want to make sure that if we have excess funds out there in reserve, then maybe we should be applying that to those to that particular area. I know we can't take water and support operating. I know we can't take sewage and support. You know, I know they're standalone, but there's certain things out there in those departments that we could be doing if we have excess reserves.
And we do have excess reserves. And it's actually, if you look at the cash, it's going to be more based on the excess cash.
Right.
That's presented to you every month in the tax on the balance sheet on the bottom. I recap that for you. It shows the 17% and anything above that will be available to spend.
That's
Provided we're not locking ourselves into a contract somewhere.
Right.
But you know, the CIP fund and the CRA are pretty much restricted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's all restricted. So you have to just look at the water, sewer, solid waste fund as well as the general fund will be any cash balance that's there.
Right.
The cash is only in one account, so there's only one real bank account out there other than the UB deposits and the CRA funds. Those have to keep separate because they're not interest bearing, but everything else is in one bank account. And you know, the balance of that checkbook is about $25,000 to $30,000 because we sweep it. Since I've been here, I've earned $5.4 million for the city in interest, which we flipped to that sweep account system. But that's where, you know, I keep track of that when we bank rec. There's about 8 to 10 GL accounts that make up that one general fund checking account that's at Regions. And then as well as the impact, the restricted funds that go into that for the reserves, we try to use those up as much as we can. But it's basically you're going to be your unrestricted cash that we're looking at in those.
I mean, it's nice to have money in the bank, and we're sitting with money in the bank, but if we have excess cash out there, why aren't we using it? That's what the discussion I'd like to have.
I think that'd be a good discussion.
I know there's information buried.
That's what I'm going to prevent.
The big thing is you've got to have the budget line to spend it. So we have to come up with a plan on what you want to use those excess funds.
Well, that's why we're in the budget process.
And some of just like we just talked about, the fire truck in 2 years. Maybe we need to start setting aside, not to spend now, but maybe we need to, you know, we need to look at future needs
Mm-hmm.
and what's it gonna cost.
And that's something I think we should do every year, right after this process. Set what we want to do in the following year. At least talk about what we want to do, and that would give you guys something to work on for the next year.
Typically, in most businesses I've ever worked before I came here, we had a 5-year capital plan. Because that's where you did it. You presented that at the same time you were doing your budget, not after. It was all done at the same time. You do a 5-year plan at the same time, so you know what your future is looking like and what you're looking at to expand out there. We do ask the departments to do it, but it's not official. Some departments keep stuff up and look at the future. Other things, we're not really looking at the future. But fire truck, like Chief said, we have it out there. Probably don't have enough money for it out there, but we have it out there.
Yeah.
Certain departments do look at the 5-year plan and give me that. So when I give them their capital to look at, we shoot that back to them and say, well, this is what you said last year. They're not etched in stone. They're not, they're changing. If there's something that happens, it's like, oh, we don't need that, now it goes away. But typically, we do it during the budget process.
And we have
That's like the road, asphalt. We had it scheduled for this year, but you're broke.
How long before we start working on the fire station, once we buy the land? Are we looking within 5 years? Do we have an idea?
Buying that land is gonna be a trick because there's an issue with the title on it. And they have to find the witnesses, and hopefully they can find them, because I had a discussion with Attorney Ovos on that. And the issue with that land is that there's no clear title on it. And apparently, they have to find the witnesses that, when they did the original paperwork. If they can't find those witnesses, there's no land. Is what he's telling me. So in other words, they won't be able to sell it.
Won't be able to sell.
Plan B.
Pardon?
Plan B.
Right, I know, that's what I'm saying, is that we're talking about that land, but they have to find those people, and he's telling me the people are not found, there's no land, that she can't sell the land, she can't do anything with it.
I don't know how to make this, I'm just gonna be very direct. We gotta be careful when we talk about the reserves, because what has happened in some of our sister or brotherly sisters entities. So, to give you an example, some of them consider if in January I've got this reserve, then that's okay, but here again, that reserve or that money they're talking about is dedicated to be spent as it goes through. So that particular month, they supposedly have reserve. Callaway, particularly in the last 4 to 5 years, has been very above board in everything we're doing. And when we say we got 17% reserve, if you wouldn't know it, Ken, but Commissioner Pelletier, you probably remember when we started talking about reserves years ago, we were looking at 20 and 25%.
Which we did.
And then what happened basically when you came on board, very honestly, they dropped down to 17%, which is what the state is really recommending. So we're down at 17%.
But 17% is the minimum we can have.
Right.
We both know 17% will not touch a hurricane.
No. Right.
And, we have another percentage in mind, and that's something, we'll discuss that.
All right, that's why I think we need to have a discussion on it, not necessarily that we want to spend it, it's just that I think at the end of the day, you know as well as I do, the way the governor's working right now, we're not going to get any more grants anytime soon.
That's right.
Okay? And it's nice that we're making money on this, interest on this money, but if we don't, we need to identify it, requirements that we have downstream. If we have done, requirements, like, for an example, I'm pretty surprised about that price on that fire truck. We went from 650,000 to $1 million, because the last one we bought was 650 or 750.
700,000.
650. So then we've gone to $1 million on a fire truck. Things do go up, and all that needs to be planned, but we've never, as a commission, sat down and discussed, the big picture when it comes to reserves. And, I just think that, and I was on commission when we reduced it from 24, I believe, to 17, Mayor, you were too. And I'm not saying we need to reduce it. I know that city manager wants more, but no matter what we do, nothing's ever gonna cover 100% of any hurricane.
Well, also back then, we had a paving list
Right,
and all that every year,
right.
and all that. Well, the hurricane and all these grants kind of changed that. Very honestly, I hate to say it, to a positive, very honestly. Because, you know, where our normal budget, including everything, was more in the line of 22 million. Where right now we're looking at 54, 56 million because of grants and other things that we've got.
Those are gonna come down, I think.
Oh, they definitely are.
And let's all remember that we came out better in the hurricane because number one, we were properly insured.
Right.
And number two, we actually had reserves that we were actually planning for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we ended up holding off on those plans, and take care. So we came out of, the hurricane without the long-term debt. We just had the short-term debt.
We were properly insured because the commission got in the middle of it. Way back when.
Well, we also, if you recall, we had a insurance company that did a proper survey for us. When City Manager Cook came in, you know, at least he had that basis, which one of the commissioners really criticized that insurance company because the insurance company did it for free. And the commissioner at that time, who you know, sat over here, criticized the insurance company because they said, well, you're just trying to get more revenue. Well, city manager came in and realized we needed to get the insurance up to where it was, so anyway. You're talking,
The insurance
quiet.
evaluation, the asset evaluation was not correct. And then we redid it internally and realized how bad we are, and then we switched out. It was not long before the hurricane.
And you want
Yeah,
to
just a
check
couple
on my
months
team.
before. Yeah, we switched out to get the coverage that we needed. That was the thing.
Definitely. And hopefully we never go through anything like that again.
There's one question I forgot to ask on the budget. Next site. What are they doing for us now?
We're still selling property.
Pardon?
We're still selling property, but this is the last year. It won't be an issue contract.
When we're selling properties, what are they working on? We have very little commercial property.
We're working on a 20-acre parcel right now. And they're also
And
working.
then we're gonna
with
get
the
rid of them next
They're
year.
working with the Klotz, yeah.
Okay.
They're working with the Klotz property that's
Because we
now
went
for
years
sale.
and years that they did nothing for us.
Oh, I don't.
Prior to you. Remember? Not next site, but it was another company.
Oh, EDA? How's EDA?
Yeah.
That don't count, they don't
No,
count.
the EDA is completely different. That's not the
But
calculation.
if you remember next site, we had a 5-year contract with them, and it was a shared cost between us and the chamber, and then after the storm, the chamber actually covered 100% for a couple of
Yeah, the
years.
chamber paid
Well, that
all
last
that we had.
update we did was year by year with them.
Hmm?
I thought that last time we did a change with them, it was year by year.
Next site,
Because it was.
No, we had a 5-year contract.
not here.
we had
And we're
something
in year 5, and I don't know that we don't have plans to continue it next year. We're, honestly, until 22 develops out,
Good luck with
we're out of a lot of
We
commercial
don't
property.
have to,
Yeah,
Any growth?
we are out of a lot of commercial property. They were instrumental in getting the Burger Key back, definitely getting the Whataburger here, the Aldi's, the hotel, and they've actually been on the backside pushing the Hampton, through Hampton corporate. It's finally getting built, yeah. And, yeah, they helped us out bringing in the Klotz Group, even though the Klotz Group has pulled back, and they've got the plans, but they already did all the mitigation, they already paid for all the mitigation, so now it's just a matter of selling the plans, and we're working on a couple, developers to look at that and then take over those plans. And then we still got the 20-acre parcel that we're still dealing with, and I'm dealing with a developer out of South Florida that's looking at that pretty hard. Let me take off Nathan, I made it up in half, sorry.
Well,
Motion to adjourn.
nothing else? Let's adjourn. Thank y'all for staying with us.